Profit margins. Do you ever hear people talk about what your target profit margin should be? Just want to give you a little bit of education and a fair warning to ask more questions when you hear those numbers. So people throw around two different types of numbers, gross profit and net profit. The problem is they hardly ever tell you which profit they're actually talking about when they say you should have a 30% profit margin. What does that mean? Because there's two different types of profit margin in business, in the accounting world. So I want to tell you about those today. First, there's the gross profit. This is the difference between sales and what it takes to generate those sales, direct expenses. Typically, for our clients, that's labor and maybe like your cost of retail or cost of supplements if you're selling those things in your business. So most of the time, it's what's left over. Your profit, gross profit, is what's left over after you've paid your labor to deliver the service that you got paid for. So it's cost of goods sold is what that's sometimes called. What's left over from your sales after that? That's called your gross profit. If you then divide that number by your sales, that's your gross profit margin. That's where you end up with maybe 30%. This number is going to be higher than the other profit margin, which is called your net profit margin. That is what's left over after you've paid all of your other expenses. So that's the very bottom of your profit and loss statement. That number divided by your sales is your net profit margin. So your gross profit margin tells you what you have left to spend on those general operating expenses, rent, utilities, those types of things. Your net profit margin is how much you have to pay yourself as a profit distribution. Maybe also owner's pay, depending on how you're incorporated and what gets put into your profit and loss statement. And this is why it's so important to have profit first implemented in your business, because that net profit divided by sales on some profit and loss statements really doesn't take into account any of your own pay. And we believe that's the most important part, is that you're paying yourself for running your business. So your profit and loss statement, your profit margin can lie to you if you're not paying yourself on payroll, which not all of you should be. So it gets really confusing. And I just wanted to put this out there that there are two different types of profit margin, and I don't believe any of them tell the whole story. When we talk about profit percentages in Profit First World, we are talking about your net profit percentage, because we also have a separate account for your operating expenses. So those are already taken care of and accounted for. So when someone says, oh, your goal should be this much percentage, I don't care what it is, be sure you understand, are they talking about your gross profit or your net profit? And is at that net profit after you've paid yourself, or is it just what's on your P&L statement, especially if you're an LLC, not on payroll? Hope that helps. If you have any questions, be sure to leave comments, because this is a big topic and it can be confusing.